highly recommend, just before I get into the news and the stuff, I watched Melania yesterday on Prime. Very, very good.
Really? Was it really fantastic?
You have to pay attention to every last second, because it's one of those movies that the visual is a lot more visual than it is
dialogue,
auditory. Like she narrates kind of every now and then, but most of it you're just watching, and it's super fascinating to see all the behind the scenes stuff. But you got to watch, because otherwise you miss you would just miss a lot. So it's real good. So I highly recommend it. If you have not seen it, take a watch of that. All right, let's get to the things and the stuff, shall we?
Yes, let's do it.
So the two a-holes that threw bombs everywhere in New York City, there have been indictments. So U.S. Attorney Jay Clayton has secured those indictments against the two Islamic bombers. That means, because these are federal charges, that Alvin Bragg cannot let them go, which is a good thing. So that is really that's great news. And we're going to hear from the NYPD police commissioner, who talked about the body cam footage of the cops that were entangled with these monsters. And they're basically confessing, and there's not going to be a very long trial, I'm guessing, because they are confessing. They don't care about the Miranda rights, and they're like, woohoo, we would do it again. So we'll hear more from them in just a second. But first of all, I know we mentioned this yesterday, but this is one of the homes that their families lives in.
$1.7 million home.
I mean,
what a punk. What a rich ass punk.
Grateful a-hole.
Yeah. And I just like to point out, so this morning when I'm doing pre-show research and stuff like that, I do a search on X for, I kid you not, for Islamic bombers in New York City. I just do a search and I put latest. So much crap comes up. So much. Okay.
Yeah.
And that should tell you something. I had to sift through other crap. Okay.
Yeah.
Because Islamists are always bombing something.
It's kind of their thing.
It's their thing. There's too many, you guys. Too many.
Yeah, it's a problem. It is a problem. And so apparently the two boys have different lawyers, and one of their lawyers is trying to say, even though they're from Pennsylvania, they're not even from New York City. One of their lawyers is trying to say they don't know each other. They're in different age groups. They are not known to each other. There's no reason to believe they knew each other prior to the incident, despite the fact that there's actual video footage of them handing off bombs to each other or whatever. And so someone rightly pointed out on Twitter, not sure they realize it, but this actually makes it infinitely worse if true, because it would mean the two just random Islamic terrorists independently decided to attack the same place on the same day. And the other one, one of them was able to recruit the other almost instantaneously. That does make it way worse.
Yeah. Cause it's we're friends. Do we just become best friends? Because we're Islamist asshole bombers. Okay.
Right.
Let's right. We can do activities in our room now in our $1.7 million home and make bunk beds.
The fact that you just used a Step Brothers reference on this is just so peak Daisy. I love it.
Literally, that's who they are. It's who they are. They're Brennan and Dale, but Islamic bombers. I cannot.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Amazing. Yeah. So like I said, we're going to hear from the NYPD police commissioner who, I mean, her recounting of the police cam footage is kind of extraordinary to listen to. But first, we need to hear how Gwen is enjoying her bed.
You guys, she's really enjoying it. I should call her in here and ask her. I mean, she's out there making breakfast right now, but it's true. Well, first of all, she has a full-size mattress from Brooklyn Bedding. It's supportive underneath. It's soft on top. It sinks just enough for her. She's kind of a diva when it comes to mattresses. She does like her sleep. Okay. She does.
Who isn't?
Well, I mean, I don't sleep as much as anybody else in my house, but everybody else in my house, they're really into mattresses and sleep. She's really into this. She was super excited to do the quiz and pick one out for herself. She was like, oh my God, there's a quiz. So great. She geeked out over it. And you can do that on their site. It takes 2 minutes. You can find your perfect match. And I love their origin story. The founder, John, he built it from the ground up in Arizona with no college degree, just grit and craftsmanship. And it's such a cool company. And I love that so much. They're an American company. If you sleep hot, they have the perfect mattress for you. If you just want to try one of their mattresses, they have a 120 night comfort trial, which I love. So if you're like, I don't like this one enough, you can swap it, you can return it hassle-free. I love that about the company. I love so many things about their company. They handcraft every mattress in Arizona. There's no middleman. There's no bull crap. It's just quality stuff. They have quality mattresses, honest pricing, and real American craftsmanship from a real American company, which we're all about. That's what we're all about. Go to brooklynbedding.com, use promo code CHICKS at checkout and get 30% off site-wide. 30% off. It's really good, you guys. And then do the quiz. You can see exactly what fits you. That's brooklynbedding.com, promo code CHICKS for 30% off. Do it.
Do it. All right. So here is the police commissioner with the general update.
As alleged, both defendants have admitted that they acted on Saturday because of ISIS. As Qayyumi was being placed into an NYPD vehicle following his arrest, a person in the crowd asked why he had done this. As shown on NYPD body-worn camera footage referenced in the complaint, Qayyumi responded with ISIS. And at the precinct, after being advised of his Miranda rights and waiving those rights, Qayyumi said in recorded post-arrest statements that he had watched ISIS propaganda on his phone and that his actions that day were partly inspired by ISIS. The complaint also details statements made by Amir Balat after his arrest. En route to the NYPD precinct, Balat made spontaneous statements without being questioned by NYPD officers that were captured on body-worn camera footage. He said, "This isn't a religion that just stands when people talk about the blessed name of the prophet. We take action, as well as, if I didn't do it, someone else will come and do it." And later, after waiving his rights, he requested paper and wrote a message declaring in part, "I pledge my allegiance to the Islamic State. Die in your rage, you kuffar." Now, "die in your rage" is a commonly known ISIS slogan, and kuffar is an Arabic term that refers to non-believers. He also told investigators that he had hoped to carry out an attack even bigger than the Boston Marathon bombing, which he noted resulted in only 3 deaths.
Wow.
Yeah. Did you see her Star David?
Oh, I didn't. I completely missed that.
Mm-hmm. She had a Star David on. And she was quite detailed about the description of these asshats.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's so terrifying how many psychos live among us, and are willing to do just disgusting, horrific things in the name of their freaking weird ass God.
Right.
Sorry. No, not sorry.
Oh, I'm not sorry at all. Did you guys last Friday night? There was like nobody covered last Friday night. There was with that Southwest Airlines flight 2094 from Nashville to Fort Lauderdale. It had to divert in Atlanta because there was that guy that was all Allahu Akbaring on the plane. Mm-hmm. And he said he had a bomb, and it's like that didn't get any coverage. I mean, very minimal coverage. You had to read about it on Twitter. This is the thing. It's like it's happening all over. There are sleeper cells everywhere just waiting.
Yep.
And this is the thing. We used to talk about this years ago. It's the long game. We always talk about this. But years ago, we were like, they play the long game, man. They're just waiting. And and then when Biden and friends let in tens of millions of people that we had no idea who these people are. Well, we'll see what happens.
That's who these people are.
Right.
Yeah. So, and I know there's like all this worry, especially if you're Zohran, you're like, oh no, Islamophobia. We can't have people being afraid of Islam. Well, there's a pattern here that our friend Shabbos Kestenbaum pointed out very well.
Okay, so on Tuesday, Islamist Nagia Degagne, he wore a property of Allah hoodie and a Iranian regime flag. He shot and killed 3 Americans in an Austin bar. On Wednesday, an Islamist by the name of Akayed Ullah was convicted of attempting to blow up the Port Authority bus terminal in New York. On Thursday, an Islamist by the name of Rama Duwaji, she happens to be the first lady of New York City and married to Zohran Mamdani, liked posts on Twitter of Hamas killing dogs in Israel. On Friday, an Islamist by the name of Asaf Merchant was convicted of working with Iran to kill President Trump. On Saturday, Islamists by the name of Amir Balat and Ibrahim Neek were arrested for throwing nail bombs at New York City protesters. Just today, the New York Police Department cleared 3 different buildings for suspected bomb threats.
God,
so call me crazy, but I think the problem might not be the Jews.
Right.
It might not be Israel. It might be radical Islam.
Who'd have thunk it?
Exactly. I'm so sick of all these people saying that it's Israel. Really? Because they're not the ones screaming Allahu Akbar on planes.
Exactly.
And Zohran's wife is like celebrating the rape and murder of women on October 7th. What's that about?
We know what it's about. I mean, what a disgusting couple. And
Yes.
it's just in New York City, that New York City of all places would elect them.
And liberal feminists are okay with that. They're okay with herself, basically liking, I'm liking all those posts. Gross. It's like, these are
vile.
Feminists. Gross.
But like you said, it's a long game that they have been playing. And now I think that the more radical among them feel more empowered than ever, which is why we're starting to see more and more videos of clerics and Islamic imams or whatever they're called, speaking out in American states publicly. I mean, these get posted all the time.
Mm-hmm.
This is some Islamic scholar in California. This is his message to Americans.
Wants to put a Muslim ban. He wants to ban Muslims. We will tell him, this isn't your country to ban. This is the land of Allah, as every land is the land of Allah.
No.
And there are Muslims here that are going to be here. And if you don't like it, I would suggest he goes somewhere else. But I don't know where he's going to go. If he goes back to Europe, a lot of Muslims in Europe. I've been there recently. You go to Africa, you go to South America, you go to China, you go to Malaysia, you go to Japan, you go to the Antarctic, there's Muslims. So I would make a suggestion. If he wants to go somewhere where there is no Muslims, I suggest he goes to hell. That this religion of Islam will enter every household. Every household.
Kathy, I'd just like to point out, Kathy Chandler thinks that we're looking old. Because we are old, Kathy.
Yeah, and it's great. I would much rather be old than not here at all.
Yeah, F off. You're in the wrong place.
And guess what? She's going to look old someday too. It's a thing that happens.
She looks kind of old right now, actually. But anyways, going back to this guy screaming in a pulpit that we're supposed... Listen, I often wonder, like the possum ladies of the world, who, by the way, have had so much shit done to her face like you, Kathy. Like the possum ladies and the mute lady that are next to her that helped get Zohran elected, they are so hell-bent against Christianity. They hate it so much. They hate Christians and they hate Christianity, but they love this. They want this. I will never understand it. It's so oppressive, especially to women. I don't understand how they think that is okay and they embrace this, but yet they hate Christianity. Somebody's going to have to explain that to me like a 5-year-old.
It's unexplainable. And like I said, this is, they're becoming very, very bold in just saying the things and just admitting that their goal here is to just take over, to enter every household, right? This is another imam, this one from Minnesota.
Now that the people of America are standing for you, will you share with them the light and the beauty and the majesty of Islam, or will you stay in hiding? Tell the young people to continue to study, to prepare themselves to become the doctors, the lawyers, the engineers, to become the mayor, the police chief, the leaders of Congress, and those that were born in America. Prepare yourself to be America's next president. We just elected a Muslim to be the mayor of New York. That's the home of 9/11. And those that are in opposition to Islam, they're watching the growth and the development of the Muslim community, and it scares them. You know why? Not because you're a threat. No. They think you're about to replace those of privilege of the days of old. They see the Muslims as their replacement. And to be honest with you, we are their replacement.
So
yeah, that's
we know the
looking.
intentions. We
We
know
absolutely-
exactly what they're trying to
Well,
do.
we do, but I think the people on the left, liberals, it's like they're welcoming it. It's crazy.
It's
to
suicidal
me.
empathy. It's not even
It-
toxic anymore. At this point,
really
it is
is.
suicidal empathy.
And what I think is so interesting too, it's like a lot of these broads on the left, they're like, oh, The Handmaid's Tale. The Handmaid's Tale was based on Islam. Hello.
I mean, do they not see
No.
Iranian women and why they're celebrating Trump's strikes? Do they not understand that that's the end goal
Right.
of an Islamic regime, is to just completely oppress its women?
Right.
I just don't get it. I don't get
Yeah,
how they
I
can be
don't
so
either.
utterly retarded.
And ignorant. I know.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. All right. So speaking of strikes on Iran, let's just do, let's run through the updates about what's going on there. This is a rumor. I don't know if this is 100% accurate, but I saw this a lot on Twitter yesterday. And that was this rumor that the son of the Ayatollah, who is obviously no longer with us,
Mhm.
and who has been chosen as the replacement, that he is severely injured, that one of his legs has been amputated, and he may not even know that he has been chosen as supreme leader. Now, I don't know that that's confirmed, but I saw this from so many different accounts yesterday that I wanted to mention it because I was like, that would be amazing.
So he's basically hobbling around on one leg, and they're telling him you're the supreme leader, but he doesn't know it. That's basically what's happening here.
That's the rumor. That is
Yeah.
the rumor. So
Okay.
yeah. Also, Marco Rubio out and about yesterday, giving an update about the Iranian strikes and the purpose and objective behind them. Once again, here is Marco.
This mission are clear, and it's important to continue to remind the American people of why it is that the greatest military in the history of the world is engaged in this operation. It is to destroy the ability of this regime to launch missiles, both by destroying their missiles and their launchers, destroy the factories that make these missiles, and destroy their navy. I think we are all seeing right now the threat that this clerical regime poses to the region and to the world. They are trying to hold the world hostage. They are attacking their neighbors. They are attacking neighboring countries, their energy infrastructure, their civilian population. They're attacking embassies. This is a terrorist government. This is a terroristic regime. And we are seeing them conduct terrorism using nation-state elements, using weapons like missiles and one-way attack drones. And the objective of this mission is to destroy their ability to continue to do that. And we are well on our way to achieving that objective every single day with overwhelming force, with overwhelming precision. The military, the United States military, the men and women in uniform are conducting an extraordinary operation. There are not a lot of cameras down there covering what they're doing, as opposed to some of the other images that you may see from some of the cities and capitals nearby. But I want everyone to know your military is getting the job done. And every single day, this regime in Iran has less missiles, has less launchers, their factories work less, and their navy is being eviscerated. And the world is going to be a safer and a better place when this mission is accomplished. And
I believe him 100%.
Totally. It just makes me want to go, America.
F yeah.
You know, because like,
Yep.
that is, yeah, there's no
Yep.
reason not to believe him. I mean, I just, that's going to be a hard lie to cover up later. You know what I
Yep.
mean? So yeah, I think that by all accounts, they're ahead of their schedule. Trump was talking yesterday. We'll have some clips of him later saying that he wants this over soon. So all of these people that are like, this is going to be a long, protracted war, and there's going to be boots on the ground, blah blah blah. I just don't see that being true. I just don't. So I hope I'm right. Obviously, I don't know. I'm not in the military. I'm not in the inner circle, but that's my gut feel about it. And there's no question that all of the people, the naysayers that are criticizing the attacks, all seem to have something in common that Data Republican pointed out. If you want to read this.
It's insane. Every single person that's yelled about the Iran war in my comments, I simply go to their profile, search for what they've said about Israel. And yeah, Israel is their target of hatred. It's absolutely ridiculous. Nothing original about it. They've absorbed the standard communist Muslim talking points for the past infinity years, and they don't even realize it. Yeah, we just had somebody in our comments go, Jew. That's original. You all right? You okay? Mensa?
This is why we need a moderator at Facebook.
I swear. It's like,
That's so weird.
They're just so infected. They're like, Jew. Okay. Wow. Was that hard?
And they say that as if it's insulting. I mean, if I were Jewish, I would be happy to tell you all about it. You know what I mean? Like, that's not an insult. You psycho.
They're not the ones in America trying to kill us.
So stupid.
I'm okay.
So perhaps you've heard that an Iranian women's football, meaning soccer, team was playing in Australia, and all of the crap that's going on, there was a big hullabaloo because they did not acknowledge when the Iranian Islamic regime anthem was being played. They didn't want to acknowledge that because they obviously hate that regime. And now, of course, that has infuriated the regime. And so there's been all this hullabaloo about if they go back to Iran, they will be raped and murdered. I mean, there's no question about it. There's literally no question about it. So we're going to get into the nits and gnats of that story as soon as we remind you to take your vitamins.
Yeah.
And if you're taking them, you should be taking them in a handy, easy gel pack, like one of these guys from Healthy Cell.
Yeah, because they absorb, you guys.
Exactly.
Healthy Cell's awesome. They have a supplement for everything you need. They even have their bone strength, like the bone strength one. I was so excited about that one because I had I had so much success with the hair, skin, and nails, and I have crap bones. You guys are like sawdust. Not because I took Ozempic either. Hello. I'm just saying. Like, I actually have bad bones. And this stuff is fantastic. It absorbs. It worked for my hair, skin, and nails. I cannot wait to take my next DEXA scan in the next year or so, just to see how well the bone strength one is working. Heart and vascular health and joint health and mobility. I need another cup of coffee. They're two of Healthy Cell's best sellers, and a lot of people use those two together. So the heart and vascular health replaces up to 13 separate pills. It tastes like strawberry jam. And then the other one, the joint health and mobility, replaces up to 10 different ones. That's 23 pills, you guys.
Right? Like, just visualize.
Right?
Why would you want to take this? Why?
It's just like nobody wants to hork those down. And the joint health and mobility is a really super yummy orange flavor. I put mine in the fridge, so it's like a little treat every day. And right now I'm taking 2. I take the bone strength and the hair, skin, and nails. My daughter takes the
she takes Bioactive, right?
Thank you. Yes, it's the purple package. She takes that. It's their multivitamin. So all of them are fantastic. Mock has that thing that has
sample bag of all of them.
It's like 20 something bucks. I think you can get all of them, and you check them all out, taste them, see if you love them, and you will. We love all of them. Visit healthycell.com/chicks. Use code chicks20 to get 20% off your first purchase. That's healthycell.com/chicks, code chicks20. Do it.
Okay, so this football team. So there was a guy on X, Drew Pavlo, I think his name is, and he actually tweeted something that Trump saw and ended up retweeting. Can you read Drew's tweet, or is it too small?
I can do it. Here we go. It's an eye test. This story is absolutely insane. Senior Iranian regime propagandists threatened to have members of the Iranian women's football team killed because they didn't sing the national anthem at a game in Australia this week. The women were then basically held under armed guard in Australia by Iranian officials to prevent them escaping. They were even seen making SOS signals on their team bus. My God. The Australian government inexplicably dragged their feet on saving them right up into the last possible moment. 5 girls just escaped and claimed asylum. The rest face a flight home tomorrow to almost certain persecution. This is the same Australian government which wants to import literal ISIS members from Syrian prison camps. They've spent the past month trying to get ISIS brides back on planes to Australia, but they had to be dragged, kicking and screaming, to protect 5 women fleeing Islamist persecution. And I'd also like to point out, this is real feminism, you guys. So many of these stupid white liberal weirdos with the freaking blue hair here in the United States that are like, oh, look, I'm doing something. Look at me you're not doing anything. This is real feminism, fighting back against a regime that is oppressing them. That's what it looks like. And these
that's courage. Like, that is serious courage.
Right. They are risking their lives. They may lose their lives. 5 of these women, my God, we need to do something for these women.
Well, I'm so glad you said that because Trump is doing something.
Good.
And this is just exactly Trump's way. So he first tweeted about it early yesterday, saying Australia is making a terrible humanitarian mistake by allowing the women's team to be forced back to Iran, where they will most likely be killed. Don't do it, Mr. Prime Minister. Give asylum. The U.S. will take them if you won't. Thank you for your attention to this matter. And then just hours later, he said, I just spoke to Prime Minister Anthony Albanese of Australia concerning the team. He is on it. 5 have already been taken care of, and the rest are on their way. Some, however, feel they must go back because they're worried about the safety of their families, including threats to those family members if they don't return. In any event, the prime minister is doing a very good job having to do with this rather delicate situation. So the 5 who have accepted asylum were pictured. They're not wearing any headgear, as you'll notice. They're about to live as free women. But the question is, what about the rest of the team and the rest of the team's coaches, staff, like everybody that travels with the team? It's still really, really dicey. And so we have a news report from an Australian reporter with the latest. Here she is.
Here's a quick update because this story is changing really quickly. All members of the Iranian football team, the women's football team, except for the 5 that have been given humanitarian visas after they fled the hotel yesterday, all the others have been accounted for and are in the hotel. They were on the hotel grounds and they remain inside the hotel as we speak. Many of them wrestling with the decision of whether they accept the offer of the Australian government for humanitarian visas or whether they go back home because of the pressure that is being exerted on their family members. And they have been warned by an official spokesperson that the pressure on those family members will be sustained until the rest of the team flies home, until their family members get back there. Now, I've also had it confirmed that they tried to fly out of Australia yesterday, but could not find flights that would get them into Iran. So this is still a picture that is emerging. How do they actually get back there? We've also heard calls from one of the opposition MPs, Julian Lisa, who said that the officials who are preventing these women from being able to access what they need to access and make free decisions about their future should actually be detained with the potential of being deported. So again, it's another element of the story that continues to evolve.
I mean, the fact that they have to go through all this is just, it's unreal. This is the thing. And then women here in the United States will be like, I'm so oppressed. Like,
right?
I live in a totalitarian regime under Trump. No, you don't. Shut up. Go back to Starbucks.
No kings. Okay.
Right?
Can you imagine making that decision, knowing that
No.
your family, you might, if you stay and live free, your family may all be murdered by their own government.
No, I cannot imagine.
But then you also know if you go back, you're going to die. Like there's no question. So how do you, I just don't even know. That's like such a Sophie's choice.
I was just going to say, it's so much like Sophie's choice.
How do you do that?
I don't know because I am a free American woman. And that's why I thank God every day that I live here. And I am that. And these chicks they don't do that. They're ungrateful losers. They should be thanking God every day that they're American women, but they don't. And they see stuff like this and they're like, it's crazy.
This is go back home.
This is the thing. This is why I show my daughter and I tell her, I'm like, this is why you thank God every day that you're an American girl, because this is what's going on in the world. And we should all tell our girls that, because then if we don't, they grow up to be liberal whack jobs that have no sense of what's going on in the world.
Yeah. So Trump spoke yesterday. Obviously we'll obviously be following that because I have no idea how that's all going to turn out. And, ultimately it is their Sophie's choice to make. We know 5 for sure are staying put. The rest, I have no idea what they're going to do. And I just can't imagine.
I can't either.
What they're grappling with right now. But Trump spoke yesterday and it was so Trumpy. You guys, it was just the Trumpiest Trump town ever. So there was one moment where there was a baby in the audience who was crying, who was upset. And so here is how Trump spun it. It was so perfect.
All of you, if you would, I'd like to have you go back and Lisa, hello, darling. She was screaming her affirmation of what I said. The kid went wild. She was so happy that somebody finally said, let's vote on this.
So Trump.
So Trump.
I just love that. He
great.
also had some choice words for Chuck Schumer, who, of course, is doing everything he can to keep DHS closed and shut down and to prevent the SAVE Act from passing. I mean, all the things. And so here is what Trump said about Chuck Schumer.
He was horrible. What a horrible politician. He is now a Palestinian officially. He is registered as a Palestinian. He's taken the biggest turn of any human being I've ever seen.
It's true.
He's gone from totally pro-Israel to totally pro-Palestinian. Mm-hmm. He wants to protect the Iranian people that are quite nasty. But it's very simple. All voters must show the act.
It's not hard, but yeah, can you imagine? And Chuck Schumer is Jewish, right? So like, what is he even doing?
He's like Bernie Sanders Jewish, or like Nancy Pelosi is Catholic. You know what I mean?
Right.
He's one of those.
Oh my gosh. So then there was a moment too where Trump was, he has an ego. I don't think that's news to anybody. And he likes to talk about how he can do things that no other person nobody knows about things as much as Trump does. Nobody's better at anything than Trump. And only Trump could get things done that he's getting done. And here is what he said yesterday.
No, I don't want to brag, but they've said this about a lot of things. No other president could do some of this shit I'm doing. No other president. The things I'm doing, nobody else was going to do it. They say it all the time. Sir, could you do this? You're the only one can do it.
I just love
so true.
I just love that. I'm sorry. I cannot get enough of it. Cannot get enough right now. He also, as we know, he was at the Dover Dignified Transfer the other day for 6 of the service members out of the 7 who unfortunately passed away. And he was talking about meeting their families, and he met with the families separately. Okay. So, and that's typical, that he spends time with each of the family members, but he said that universally he heard one thing from those families, and here it is.
Associated with the war in Iran, how many American deaths are you willing to have in this war?
Well, as I said before, when you have conflicts like this, you always have death. And I was at Dover yesterday. I met the parents, and they were unbelievable people. They were unbelievable people, but they all had one thing in common. They said to me one thing, every single one: finish the job, sir. Please finish the job. And I'll leave you at that. Thank you very much, everybody.
I believe it.
I do too. I mean, I would certainly want that. If I were the family member of the fallen, I would want to know that there was reason. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that there was a purpose.
Right. Don't make it in vain. Make sure that you finish it.
Mm-hmm. He also tweeted this yesterday, a threat to Iran, saying if Iran does anything that stops the flow of oil within the Strait of Hormuz, they will be hit by the United States of America 20 times harder than they have been hit thus far. Additionally, we'll take out easily destroyable targets that will make it virtually impossible for Iran to ever be built back as a nation again. Death, fire, and fury will rain upon them, but I hope and pray that it doesn't happen. This is a gift from the U.S. to China and all of those nations that heavily use the strait. Hopefully, it's a gesture that will be greatly appreciated. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
I don't think that those nations appreciate anything.
They do not.
They don't.
And people like Megyn, Tucker, et al. Are translating that tweet of Donald Trump's to mean that he is planning to nuke Iran.
Oh, stop it.
I swear to God.
I swear, like we have we live on different planets at this point.
Totally.
I did not interpret it that way at all. I interpreted it at face value. And
Trump usually says what he means. You
know
what I mean?
He says how can you not know that? And he says what he means. And then also, why would you ever think that? My first instinct was, well, China's not going to appreciate that. That's my first instinct because China sucks. Iran sucks. Russia sucks. You know what I mean? Like these people are all like, oh, poor China, poor Iran, poor Russia. Screw you. I'm so sick of that, honestly.
I know it. All right, moving on. We got a couple little notes about James Talarico down there in your neck of the woods.
Preacher man?
Preacher boy. God, he looks like he's 14.
He's 12.
But somebody uncovered the fact that apparently he follows 10 Instagram accounts of women who are popular porn figures and OnlyFans models. I'm just going to say it. Dude looks like a pedophile to me. Like if he was found to have child sexual abuse materials, I would be the least surprised I have ever been.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Right. And if they were like, I'm not going to say it. I can't.
Say it.
If there were animal sites on there, I would not. Like, I mean, he's a freaky deaky. That guy is freaky deaky. He's like, I'm going to go be a preacher and talk about abortion. I'm sorry, not sorry. There's something completely demonic about this guy. He gives me the absolute heebie-jeebies every time he talks. Like things happen where like hair on he's weird.
He's weird. He's super creepy. And
So
I'm sorry,
creepy.
that is what I see every time I see his face. I'm like, that guy's got some perv.
Something's going on.
Like some major perv.
Yeah, check his hard drive. Just
Exactly.
Check
And
it.
Guy Benson was on, I can't remember with whom, but he was on Fox talking about Talarico and saying that he is actually way further to the left than Jasmine. And we all know how crazy Jasmine was.
Oh, that doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah, here's Guy on
I
that.
say this not tongue-in-cheek. I think that Jasmine Crockett may have been the moderate in that primary, and she lost.
Totally.
Because James Talarico looks and talks like a youth pastor, but he is Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez ideologically. He is as far left as you get. He bought in completely to the woke excess nonsense of 2020 and 2021. He is a horrifically bad fit for, I would say, battleground states, let alone a red state like Texas. And I think just playing the sound of him, and that was a short montage. You can keep going and going. He justifies abortion on demand without limitations by actually citing the Immaculate Conception of Jesus Christ. And he tries to wrap all of his left-wing projects in the verbiage of theology and Christianity. I think in some ways it's deeply offensive. I think that in even a tough cycle, this man should be unelectable in that state. But of course, Democrats have their rooting interests about who they want to face and make a big, muddy, ugly race of it into November. I guess we'll see.
I mean, Jasmine, I think, is playing a role. She's just, granted, they're both performative, but I think that she is probably more moderate than she even leads on. Like, I think she plays. Yeah, I don't even think she's as left as I think she just does it because she wants to get elected and like be that girl. Honestly, I just feel that way. I think she's just that she's not even as left as she just does it because she wants a job, you know, she wants to be out there doing the thing. He, I think, is literally Satan. I just do. I think he is that horrible. He is just demonic. And when you use God, that's not okay. It's just
especially the way that he does it. The way that
he's where he's pushing abortion and doing. And he's Mr. Wide Open Borders. You should be able to waltz across. And like, he's got issues, this guy.
He does. He's so creepy. And you're right. Like, it's total heebie-jeebies whenever I think about him.
Willie.
And it makes me mad, especially because I had a pretty good appetite going already. And now it's gone. Thanks to James Talarico, but I know it'll come back because my appetite always does without fail.
Okay,
and that's why I'm so glad about Marley Spoon.
What are you eating this week? Do you know what you're eating? Because we're literally slammed like every night this week with either driver's ed. We got driver's ed going on this week, you guys. Oh my God. And then swim banquets or, just something happening this week. And I need something quick. And
I've got you. So
Really?
there's because there's a thing that you can get from their market where it's like chicken parmesan like a chicken parmesan sandwich, and the chicken parm is already cooked. So all you do is you like bake the loaf and you put the chicken on there that's already cooked, and then you spread the sauce and you just throw it in the oven. That's
okay,
it.
and Gwen
That's
would
it. And
Gwen
it
would
is
eat.
delicious.
She would eat that. They also have like chicken supreme pizza bowls with garlic broccoli, and it's microwavable, which is totally.
I haven't tried that yet.
And listen, a mom's gonna do what a mom's gonna do. You know what I mean? Like you're in a different stage of life than I'm in right now. Like you and Mr. Moth will cook together, and you're like all cute about it. And I'm like, we sit.
I don't know how cute we are.
You guys sit at the table, and like we sit at our island. Sometimes I'm eating over the sink. I mean, that's the stage of life that we're at right now. Because it's like Marley Spoon gets that. It's like an evolution of the meal. Like they know where people are at and they meet you where you're at. And I am at the place in life where I'm in complete chaos in the kitchen, and I'm trying to get everybody, fed and to the places that they need to be at. And so I can do that. And I still feel like, okay, well, we've got something that looks halfway decent and I don't feel like crap about it. So definitely check them out. They have something for everybody. marleyspoon.com/offer/chicks. You can get 25 free meals. That's really great. 25 free
deal.
ones. marleyspoon.com/offer/chicks. Do it.
Do it. All right. So I hate to bring this up because I know you're traveling soon, but we all are. Like everybody for meet and greet is going to be traveling soon. You and I are going to Arizona in a while. There's just chaos happening at the airports right now. And it's because freaking Democrats and even the TSA is saying so. The TSA tweeted, "Enough is enough. The Democrat shutdown of DHS must end." And, good on them for speaking out. It doesn't help the fact that currently it is utter chaos. There was a CNN report about this yesterday. Here's the summary.
Airports across the country are reporting hours-long lines at TSA checkpoints as the partial government shutdown drags on. TSA agents are now working without pay while Congress remains at a stalemate on the future of funding for the Department of Homeland Security. And that means staffing shortages are setting in. In New Orleans, lines have stretched all the way into the airport's parking lot on Sunday. That is not a sign is seen anyone wants to come upon. In Houston, people are being told to arrive some 5 hours before their flights.
My God.
What in the world? I mean, who can blame the TSA agents for not wanting to come to work if they're not being paid?
I wouldn't want to do that. Are you kidding? Yeah, the skirt was cute, wasn't it? Her skirt was really cute. Yeah, it was. Yeah, I wouldn't do that. I know I'm traveling next week, and I just want to be there. I just want to be able to go, like I dream of Jean.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
I don't want to do the travel part of it. I just want to be there part of it.
Oh my God. That's just, why do Democrats have to literally F everything up? Everything.
This is what they do. They're toddlers but that's mean to toddlers, but they just they're so contradictory for everything. Everything has to be dramatic.
And they're so dug in on this. Like if you listen to any of them, they're like, we're not budging. And so now we've got terrorists and sleeper cells and all these dangers, and the very agency that is in charge of keeping the homeland safe is the one that's defunded.
Right.
Make that make sense. If you think the government is supposed to protect you, that's their number one responsibility.
Number one.
Look at what Democrats are doing. They don't care about anything but power. That is it. And if this isn't the evidence you need, I don't even know. I don't even know what else you need to see to get it. Eric Schmidt from Missouri, quickly becoming one of my favorites, I think, in the House, was talking about DHS and the shutdown and all of this nonsense yesterday. Here's what he said.
Because this is just the height of stupidity by the Democrats. It's essentially a temper tantrum because they don't like President Trump. They want to ultimately defund ICE. But as your audience knows, in the one big beautiful bill, the Working Families Tax Cut, we front loaded the money for ICE. So those deportations are going to continue. What the Democrats are doing here will do nothing to affect that. And so really who are paying the price? The traveling public, employees, the Coast Guard, Secret Service. I mean, think about law enforcement that's been involved. Dana, we heard stories of the last government shutdown caused by the Democrats where TSA agents were sleeping in their cars to save money on gas. They're now going without paychecks.
It's
Yeah,
just
that's
so
the thing.
unfair.
They want to reform ICE and CBP, but the bottom line is they just don't want to deport illegals. That's what they don't want to do, because illegals vote for them. That's what it is. Well, we're on to you. Like, we know what this is about. And then you got Ilhan Omar, and she's like, I want DHS completely dismantled. Well, why do you think that is? Because she loves terrorists. She loves them. They're like her BFFs. Of course she wants to dismantle it. Your number one job. Does she even know what her job is? Who's going to tell her?
Didn't she have to like take an oath? I feel like that was part of the deal.
I mean, she doesn't even know not to marry her own brother.
Yeah, she's got bigger issues, obviously, to deal with. So here is Hakeem Jeffries, who, of course, I had to speed up because he talks so freaking slow. But again, this just shows you how dug in these idiots are.
Completely and totally out of control group of people. It's the reason why we are in a DHS shutdown right now, because Republicans have refused to agree to the type of bold, transformative, meaningful, and dramatic reforms we are demanding in order for the Department of Homeland Security funding bill to move forward. And I won't go through all of the demands,
of course
much of which we've talked about repeatedly in the public. Okay. But one of those demands is keep ICE out of sensitive locations. And we've defined that as schools, houses of worship, hospitals, and polling sites. We want an explicit prohibition that ICE can go nowhere near any polling sites in the United States of America. It's one of our demands. We're not going to bend on it.
Right. The only people they want at houses of worship is Don Lemon. That's it.
But this is such an idiotic take, because I think Republicans would actually be more than happy to accommodate that demand if they got cooperation from every city and state government, because they don't need to go to schools and houses of worship when they are cooperated with and the ICE detainers are honored. That is it. That's all that needs to happen. Yeah, because if Democrats would just say, okay, we'll put an end to all that sanctuary bullshit, then this would be fine. Everything would be fine.
Right. That's the thing, is that they just don't want to deport anybody. That's what it boils down to, that. And this whole we want reform. It's not reform. It's that they just don't want to deport people because they haven't imported voters. If you have half a brain cell left in your head, you know what this is about. Well, we want people to be deported. And that doesn't look all comfy cozy all the time.
That is Democrats' fault.
Yeah, because you let them in here.
But it's also their fault that it's not cozy and comfy looking, right? Because this could be as simple as like one or two agents meeting the detainees at the jails and then deporting them. Yeah, but because of all the sanctuary nonsense, now they got to go find them in the streets. They got to take a whole crew with them. They got to cause chaos sometimes because there's protesters after them. It's so stupid what Democrats do. Just freaking cooperate. God, this is not hard. John Fetterman, always on the right side of this issue, he pointed out, because the Coast Guard has, obviously saved America from all kinds of drugs. And he pointed out they kept 11 tons of cocaine off of American streets. It is unacceptable that the Coast Guard is not getting paid. Shutting DHS down only punishes those who keep our nation safer. And of course, he's absolutely right.
I mean, as we know, Democrat politicians have children who need that cocaine. Obviously, you guys.
That is a fair point. And of course, we mentioned this earlier in the show, but there are these sleeper cells. The U.S., according to Nick Sorter, the U.S. has reportedly intercepted encrypted conversations from the Iranian government meant to trigger these sleeper cells across the West, including right here at home. And thanks to Democrats, we have no clue how many of those are in the U.S. and they're still keeping DHS shut down.
Yeah, it's
ridiculous.
We're gonna find out. We're gonna find out the hard way.
Yeah,
it's gonna happen. And then what? What's gonna happen? Sleeper cells. If you come to my neighborhood and it's gonna be country justice. That's what's gonna happen. If there's no DHS to protect people in my neighborhood, you're gonna see some rednecks taking care of some shit.
Yeah.
That's all there is to it. I mean, what do they expect Americans to do? If the government's not going to keep us safe, we're going to go ahead and we're going to try to do that ourselves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Scott Jennings on the panel yesterday dealing with a bunch of absolute idiots, and he just laid it out on the line so plainly. And I don't know how anybody argues with this, but they're Democrats, so you gotta assume that they will. Here is Scott Jennings.
But does anyone here believe that we should keep the Department of Homeland Security, that's the name of it, indefinitely shut down to try to force ICE policy changes on an agency that's already funded until 2029, when you acknowledge there are sleeper cells, when we all see radical Islamic terrorists throwing IEDs in New York City, when we saw a radical Muslim terrorist shoot up a bar in Austin, when we had tornadoes in Oklahoma and Michigan this weekend, when we have TSA lines of 5 hours in airports, we have all these things going on. Is it even remotely reasonable?
I mean, that's a lot that DHS and the related agencies are dealing with that they can't deal with when they're not being paid. And it is totally the fault of Democrats.
I do love that they're funded, though, till 2029. The fact that we front-loaded it was so smart.
Just ICE, though. Just ICE.
I hear you. Just ICE. But the fact that they did that was, I mean, look, government did something smart.
That's rare, right?
It is. Thank goodness.
Yeah, that is a rarity. All right, I'm trying to see. Okay, yes. So next we're going to talk about California for just a moment, because remember how, was it last week? Yeah, I think it was last week that we talked about the fact that the DNC was going to try to get some of the people running for governor as Democrats in California to remove themselves, because right now it's making the top two contenders Republicans, which means that they could potentially be the only choices in a general.
Which would be so
well.
great.
Oh my God, it would be so great.
So great.
Those Democrats, all of them, are saying, I'm not effing leaving.
I'm not effing leaving.
I'm not effing leaving, which is
even
fantastic.
greater.
I know, right? It's
love
the
it.
best news ever. So
love
Steve Hilton, one of the top Republican contenders, said California will have a Republican governor, whatever Democrats do. We'll have a Republican governor, even if I face a Democrat in the general. And that's what will happen once the unions pick their puppet.
True.
I will be the next governor because this state is sick of the nonsense and people want change. I hope he's right. I hope he's right.
God, I hope so too. Be so great.
Very, very interesting what's happening in that race. What's also interesting is that apparently Gavin Newsom's wife has been caught with a little bit of some hullabaloo, shall we say.
Her hand in the candy jar, if you will.
Yeah. So apparently her firm took $3.7 million from their charity, from her gender stereotypes charity. This is according to IRS filings. And I feel like that's going to be a problem for his candidacy for president. She's going to be a liability.
I cannot. So every one of these scumbags has an NGO. They're nonprofits. So they don't pay taxes. And then they bring in all this money that's, I guess it's not taxpayer funded, but still they don't pay taxes on it. And it's all just charity work. She's doing charity work. And if she's doing charity work, why would she take all that money? Why would she pocket?
I'm sure she's, as a CEO of said charity, she needs a salary.
Oh,
so of course she's going to take almost $4 million.
Can you even with a charity? I mean, come on.
And what even is a gender stereotype charity?
Nobody
What
knows.
even is that?
It's called the Representation Project.
Oh my God.
It's called. It's a bunch of bullshit is what it is. It's a way for her to get money so she can buy expensive clothes and shoes and get her face done. That's what it is. These people are gross.
She's not going to help him, and he's not going to help himself, because his polling is going on a downward trajectory at the moment,
as it should.
As it should. I mean, he's obviously failing his state, but he's also making himself look really, really bad in interviews that he's doing to promote his book. So he recently did a podcast episode with a fellow by the name of Adam Friedland, and Adam simply wanted to know, what's your platform? What do you believe?
What exactly do you do here?
What exactly do you want to do for America. And you
Right.
guys, when Gavin doesn't know how to answer a question, the hand dancing gets even more pronounced. And so you're about to see some absolute, like, what's the most, like,
Well-
is it crunk? What's like the hardest dancing you can do?
I don't even know, but you were in, listen, Mock was in show choir. So when she sings like extreme jazz hands and it freaks her out.
Oh my God.
It's saying something.
Out of control what
Right.
he is doing in this interview. And it's because he has no idea what he believes. He doesn't actually believe in anything. He just parrots the talking points du jour of Democrats. And so it becomes very, very obvious the more he hand dances, how little ability he has to answer this question. So much so that at the end of it, when he's like just rattling off nonsense, Adam is like,
"Are you done?
What?
Are you
He
done
literally says,
What?
what? So it's my favorite. So please enjoy the choreography of this interview.
What is your defined political project? Like what throughout your career
I
and
love
like
that.
right now? Like what is the thing you want to like you want to accomplish like politically?
I don't have
in your life.
I don't have like a brand. I don't have a tag, "Make America Great," or I don't, the Great Society, or something like Medicare for all the billionaires. But but for me, no bullshit. It's just standing up for ideals, striking out against injustice. It defines my why.
No bullshit.
In every way, shape, form. Stand up for ideals, strike out against injustice. I'm a Sarge Shriver Democrat. I'm into that whole 60s, the vernacular of the 60s, solving for ignorance and poverty and disease, and the spirit of the 60s, and the spirit of King, and and how the nonviolent movement, and Gandhi, and Havel, and Mandela, that moral authority, that whole
Oh my
space,
God.
that's the zeitgeist.
I can't.
And that's me. That's my dad. That's my mom. That's the book. And that's my why. And so standing up for ideals is what Gay Merged. It was about work I'm doing right now to sort of push back. We can lose this country. And just feeling like I have to be held to account and strike out against the injustices of the day.
So if you had to define it, like
I need your help to define
and
it.
you get
Well, you tell
X.
me. You're better at this.
I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know what
I
your
just gave
shit
you
is.
my why, but how do you
I'm
translate
saying-
that into human?
What?
What? What?
He said nothing in
No,
that
he didn't.
giant
No.
word salad.
Meantime, there are liberal women out there who are literally salivating. They are
Oh,
they
yeah.
have to go change their underwear over this guy. They think that he is so great. And they would have gotten in the car with Ted Bundy too.
Yeah. That's who he's like. I feel like he
Totally.
has it in him to be a serial killer.
Yeah, he would have been like, "I hurt my ankle. Can you help me?" And I would have been like, "No."
And I would have been like, sure, come on, I'll help you.
I'll
That's
help
who I am
you.
as a person.
You totally are. And I would have been like, "Hell no, I'm not going to help you. Get away from me. Get away from me. 10 feet away."
And, the results in California speak for themselves. I know he tries to dance around them when anybody ever criticizes what he's done to that state. He'll be like, oh, we have this data point and this data point, constantly trying to shift and deflect. But you cannot hide from things like this. Yamaha is now pulling out of California. They're headed
Wow.
to Georgia after a half century
My goodness.
of dealing with California bullcrap. They're done. They are done. And this keeps happening. Like this
It
keeps
does.
happening.
But I do wonder though, because we've had so much of an exodus to Texas, and Texas is becoming purple. I fear it's going to become blue. There's so much liberalism coming here, and it makes me sick. Okay. So
Yeah.
I wonder, listen, just pontificating here. I wonder, like, if Hilton gets into office and starts making, sweeping changes to California, will people start going back there and making it red again? I don't know. Could happen.
That is an interesting question. I mean, you only get a certain amount of time, I guess, to make big
Right.
changes. But if he was able to do some sweeping stuff that would improve California, that would be amazing. Because
Right.
people that love California love
Love
it for
it.
all kinds of really valid reasons, like the
Yeah.
weather and the landscape. I mean, so much of it. It's one of the
Right.
most beautiful states in the country, and
Yeah.
so it just sucks how much it's been destroyed.
Yeah. Democrats have
really
destroyed
sucks.
it. Yeah. So if Democrats have destroyed it, Republicans go in there and kind of make it better. Meanwhile, some of these other states that Democrats have gone to and they've effed them up, will those people go back and, make an exodus back to California? I'm just curious.
It's an interesting question. Although, look at this map, because this is a map of where Americans moved last year in 2025. Look at my state.
Oh my God.
It's the fastest per capita growth in the country.
Wow, Mom.
Which I know. So this is,
and Tennessee is it's pretty close second.
No, the second one is Idaho.
Is it Idaho? Okay.
Yeah, Idaho is really, 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 really growing. And then those dark blue states, it's amazing. And so I don't know what this is going to mean for South Carolina, but it's troubling. I'll say that.
South Carolina, Idaho, Tennessee, Alabama. I mean, I'm glad Texas kind of slowed down a little bit, but I mean, you guys, what do all these have in common? Well, you look at a Texas, a Florida, a Tennessee, no state income tax. We just don't.
Yeah, and the states that are in the dark red are Democrat-run states that are really struggling. And so that should be a pretty obvious lesson, but of course people miss it all the time.
Yep.
All the time. Okay, we also need to talk about the reason for my name today, because I'm sure everybody's like, what? Sheryl Underwood, I don't get it. Well, I was desperate, okay? I really struggled with my name today. And so I thought, okay, well, I'm going to name it after Sheryl Underwood, who is this week's guest host of The View. Like we said, Elizabeth Hasselbeck was not going to be invited back after a week. There was no way, because she actually clobbered that entire panel of witches.
Yeah.
But this woman, Sheryl Underwood, apparently she's a comedian. She has a lot of gum. I'm just going to say she's very gummy. She's a very gummy person.
Oh.
Petty Tuesday on the Chicks on the Right
Petty
show.
Tuesday here. There's a lot of gum. Okay.
And you can tell she's exactly the kind of Republican, and I am going to use air quotes for that The View ladies would love. And you'll see why in her
Joining us at the table this week as a guest co-host is lifelong Republican and comedian on a pit stop from her I Need a Job comedy tour. The fabulous Sheryl Underwood.
Oh, she's a Republican. Okay.
Thank you.
Lifelong.
If you had come a week earlier, you might be DHS secretary.
And I will accept. They need somebody with some sense in this administration.
Oh, okay. Here we go.
Yeah. So that gives you an idea of how Republican she is.
Right. She's an Anna Navarro Republican.
Exactly.
Okay. So she's not really a Republican. All right. She
watches
Candace.
Yeah, she does.
Oh, she does. That's right.
So you remember how Mom Donnie was all like, we're going to have free buses and we're going to, we're going to have all kinds of free stuff for free, because that's what Democrats do to get elected.
And unicorn farts are going to pay for it. It's going to be great.
Yeah. Well, apparently in New York City, there's around, I think I saw the number was 3,000 scattered across the city, free parking spaces for people to use.
Okay.
Not so much anymore, because they are considering eliminating free parking altogether because they're dealing with a budget shortfall. So as Amy Curtis pointed out, he's not only not delivering the free stuff he promised, he's making stuff that's currently free cost money.
Surprise,
so
everybody. Surprise. I mean, are we all shocked by this?
No, we're not shocked at all. And for Ramadan, he decided to have as a guest of Gracie Mansion, Mahmoud Khalil. And as Clay Travis rightly pointed out, he said posting a celebratory photo of an anti-Israel college protester who should be deported next to your non-public figure wife who cheered the rape and murder of Jews on October 7th, the day after two radical Muslims threw pipe bombs on your sidewalk, is a hell of a choice, Mom Donnie.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what he did.
I mean, listen, you elect this guy. This is what you get.
This is what you get.
Mm-hmm.
And here's an interesting, this is totally unrelated, but remember how there was the whole hullabaloo before Trump's first term about grabbing them by the you-know-what?
The hoo-ha, yeah.
Yeah. There is now video evidence of said grabbing. You guys, are you ready for this?
Yes.
There's a resurfaced picture of Trump that is proof of him grabbing a... So I'm going to insert the picture here.
There it is, right there.
there it is. I think he's also shook hands and grabbed Gavin Newsom too, which he is the king of them.
And that's true. That is true.
Yeah.
Also, this is also unrelated. This is sort of the segment before we get to our horrible people segment. Just is a jumbled mess, obviously.
Can't wait for the horrible people segment, you guys.
It's always a crowd favorite.
Love it.
And there's going to be some serious pettiness. Just FYI.
Oh yeah, it's Petty Tuesday. Get ready.
It's
Buckle
Petty
up.
Tuesday. It's
Get
going to be
another cup
bad.
of coffee. Get it.
But unrelated to all of that, have you ever heard of a Cinderella store? Like, have you seen a Cinderella store? Like where they
No.
actually have like Cinderella type costumes for girls? And
No, I mean,
I did not know that
Disney. You go to Disney for that, right?
this is actually like a Cinderella store.
Okay.
And ostensibly, because there's all kinds of various princess costumes and ball gowns that your little girl can try on, the people that work there, because they're helping fit young girls in princess gowns, those people have to be women. That makes sense to a normal person, right?
Yeah, right.
It doesn't make sense to this trans person who believes that they are entitled to a job there, and now they're very upset that they're not being considered.
Hi everyone, it's Emily. I'm here at the Wheaton Mall in Wheaton, Maryland, and despite this store being hiring, they have beautiful dresses. I just went in and asked if I could be hired, and they told me that I couldn't because I'm not a woman, and only a woman can work at that job. So Cinderella in the Wheaton Mall, you're on notice. Sorry.
Okay.
So presumably he's going to sue because of discrimination.
Go ahead and
Good luck.
sue, you freak.
Disgusting.
People are
perv.
mentally ill. Go seek help.
Yep.
And do better. If you're going to try to look like a woman, try harder.
Sometimes it's just not possible.
I mean,
they're just not going to pass. They just won't.
slapping a wig on is not, that's not trying.
Remember yesterday when we showed how the official account on X for the U.S. oil and gas totally went after Brian Krasenstein? Remember?
Yes,
It was glorious.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing it again. So Brian Krasenstein apparently did not get enough of a teardown from U.S. oil and gas. So he tried again. Big mistake. Huge. Not a good idea. So he tried to say, looks like you're out of your lane by showing the jump in the price of oil, which then, of course, immediately came down. And the U.S. Oil and Gas Association said the garden gnome tried to dunk on us this morning, but markets and reality weighed in by the day's end, proving once again, you must be this tall to drive in our lane. I freaking love this account so much.
God, it's like the social person at Wendy's. I am there. I am so there. Yes.
It's so great.
Immediate follow.
Immediate follow. They also went after Gavin Newsom's press account, the one that always tries to copy Trump's tweets. They also went after them because Governor Newsom's press office said, we already have long TSA lines because of Trump. Are Trump gas lines coming soon too? And they responded, to the pajama boy running this account for the governor, no, because unlike you, we're really good at what we do. No matter how hard you and your boss try to stop us, we will outlast you and him.
I love it. And like the use of commas in that tweet. Did you go to school? Like that person has got to be 18 years old. They have to be. My God.
Oh my gosh. I'm loving it. Everybody's going and following. I love it. Love it. Love it.
Yes.
All right, you guys, it's time for Terrible People. It's our Terrible People segment. Didn't we play recently like a strategy video of Tucker and some of the mechanics that he uses in his podcasts to do the gaslighting that he does? I feel maybe I just saw it and I didn't share it. I can't remember.
I don't know. I can't remember.
Does that sound familiar? Okay.
Him. I may have blocked it out. It's highly possible because he.
Well, you know what? You know who did? We talked about it a little bit yesterday when we played that video of Ami, because one of the things that Tucker does is that he'll say something super critical and then be like, but I'm not saying anything. I mean, not to say anything.
I'm not to
about
say anything
them.
mad about that person.
Right.
But that person is despicable and I hate them. They're the scourge of humanity. But not to say anything bad about them.
Right. I mean, that
like Christian
is one of the-
Zionists. Right.
Yes, that's one of the tactics that he employs.
Precisely.
Well, another one that he does is he will say, if X happens, here's why X is super, super bad and you should be super, super worried about it, even though X is probably not going to happen. So this is the new thing that he does. And he did it in such an egregious way yesterday that I almost couldn't believe it. He is one of the people, like I told you, that is basically saying that because Trump threatened Iran, that the strikes will be 20 times harder. That absolutely means nukes. That's one of the things that he said yesterday. But another thing that he is now saying is he's suggesting that maybe we weren't engaged in good faith in diplomacy efforts with Iran to begin with. So all the conversations that Marco, that Jared, that Steve Witkoff had with Iran, he is now saying, what if that was all just a big game and we were always going to attack them regardless? He wants to plant that seed in the brains of Americans so that we are angry at our government. But he even says, if this is the case, then it would be just unacceptable, you guys. It would be unacceptable. This is such freaking psychopathic behavior that he engages in. And so I wanted people to recognize it before it gets played. Here's the clip.
But if it ever emerges that our diplomatic efforts with Iran, both in February of this year and in June of last year, were fake, and they were designed to lull the Iranians into a false sense of security so we could launch a sneak attack on them, how is that better than Pearl Harbor? How is that better than any dishonorable sneak attack in history? Of course, it's not. It's low. It's beneath the United States. It's beneath us as American citizens. And anyone who participated in that needs to be punished for it right away.
Okay, so we're dealing with hypotheticals now. This is what
and
So
the worst possible hypotheticals to make America hate itself. You know what I mean? To make Americans hate their own country.
I know exactly what you mean. So basically, he and Candace, they're the same person.
It's disgusting what he is doing.
Right. Yeah.
Wow.
This is absolutely.
Wow.
And I still can't believe that Megyn aligns with this.
Oh yeah, it's gotten so much worse.
As a journalist, and he was a journalist, like, why you don't deal in hypotheticals, you deal in facts. Who, what, when, where, why, and how. You don't deal in hypotheticals. What are we doing?
Yeah, that was amazing to me, and especially because we all saw, what did it take, 2 weeks at least for the United States to move in like ships into the region? Like, it was a very methodical, this is what's coming, Iran. Like, it's not a sneak attack when it takes you 2 weeks to get all of your stuff in order. You know what I mean? Like, that's not a sneak attack. That is us saying, we have tried and tried to talk to you, and you are leading us to no other option but fighting you. And so we're still talking. You still have a chance to do the right thing. They didn't do the right thing.
Yeah.
So this was hardly a sneak attack.
Oh yeah. I love Jose. I love this comment. Pearl Harbor was a sneak attack. Iran was a promise kept.
Exactly.
I love that comment, Jose. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I just can't believe that he's trying to frame it that way. And it's so insidious.
I actually can believe it, because that's who he is now. Nothing surprises me with him at this point. With any of those three, with that gaggle of people over there, that it's just clicks, conspiracies, fabrications, hypotheticals, and clicks.
Totally.
What it is.
And of course, Candace is among the worst. And so she apparently, every episode of her Bride of Charlie series, if that's what you want to call it, every single episode by the day had fewer views than the day before.
Good.
So I think she finally realized this is not selling. She's not uncovering anything of interest whatsoever. And so now she's pivoting, and she's going back to Charlie, and she's going back to, well, she's now going to, Trump has betrayed everybody. He's betrayed his entire support base. And here was the teaser for her show last night.
All right, you guys, Trump has completely and utterly just betrayed America, the American people. It's very obvious that Tel Aviv is running DC, and it's taken me a long time to process that and to find the words to say. What I want to say to Trump, I was from the moment I saw him on stage at Charlie Kirk's funeral, sickened by him, and seeing what's happening in Iran and seeing him go against every promise that he ever made. You have every right to be disgusted with him, and I want to share some choice words for this administration, as well as just taking a look at the broader picture of what's happening right now. Who's actually running the world? The things that you thought were not possible are definitively happening right now. Freemasons involved in occult magic. So join us at the link below and hear what it is that I have wanted to say to Trump for a very long time.
The Freemason stuff. Do you have the Freemason stuff?
Yes, because I cannot even believe that this is where she's going. But that clip that we just played reminded me of another tactic that Tucker employs that she is now doing too. And it is when they make categorical, like all encompassing, everyone knows this kinds of statements. You will see Tucker do that all the time, where he'll be like, I mean, everyone knows that XYZ, even though a whole lot of people believe that not. They believe the exact opposite of XYZ.
Which is the truth. They believe the actual truth, which is the opposite of what you're saying.
So she's now doing that by saying it's obvious. It's obvious that it's very clear that everybody should recognize that.
Tel Aviv is running. Tel Aviv is running this. No, they're not. They're not, Hosebeast. Like, Gay Bear and George, come get your girl. Come get her.
Gay Bear and George. So, okay, the Freemason, just so you don't have to actually hear it, because it was like a whole ass diatribe, we'll just let Cinema Shogun summarize. But if you could read what he said in summary.
Candace Owens is now claiming Charlie Kirk was sacrificed by Freemasons. He says that she, my God,
I know.
It's every day, you guys. She says that she was able to come to this conclusion because one of her fans sent her a super secret Freemason Bible that gives her insight into the top levels of Freemasonry that no one else has. She claims that the Freemason Bible was saved from a fire that was set to ward off evil spirits, and it was given to her because she was the chosen one. She spent half her show pretending as if she now has hidden knowledge because she flipped through it. However, a 20-second Google search will quickly show you that there are dozens of copies of this Freemason Bible selling on eBay for around $25 to $40. And that's true. Just the latest lie from Candace Owens. Just the latest lie. Seriously, go. You can go eBay right now. You can get one anywhere really between $25 and $100. I found a couple. There's a little more expensive. People are charging more, but they're all over eBay. God, she is just insane.
Yeah. And by the way, it's a complete conspiracy theory that there's extra information in a Freemason Bible than there is in a regular Bible. There's like, if you receive a Freemason Bible as part of your Freemasonry, then apparently there are pages at the end that they will add like some ceremonial stuff, but it doesn't actually change anything about the Bible. Like, the Bible itself is 100% the same. So it's all just nonsense. It's all conspiratory nonsense. But naturally, that's where Candace gravitates. And so she believes it all. So one more clip from her show, and then we'll move on to other terrible people, because I just can't with her. But as we showed you from her trailer, she planned, and she did spend a bunch of time criticizing Trump and basically saying Trump is part of the Charlie assassination plot. Because they made us all watch it, and that was like some witchy, mystical, I don't even know what. But here she is with this is just a tiny piece of her criticism of our president.
It's pretty gross. Trump has shown more interest in debunking the mainstream media narrative about whether or not he's balding than he showed any interest in investigating who murdered a person who was supposed to be his dear friend. It was, I will employ every reason. Nope. He was good. So how exactly are we supposed to process that? We are to simply understand, I think, that Trump has loyalty to no one but himself. It probably wasn't even anything that deep that they offered him. It was probably just like, hey, we'll give you a piece of real estate in Gaza with your name on it. Also, favorable headlines in the New York Times. We put that on your desk every morning and we tell you this is how everybody thinks. You think they still have power. Honestly, that's probably all it took for Trump to betray not just the legacy and the memory of Charlie Kirk,
but also his supporters.
I wonder why she is the way that she is. Like, someone needs to interview her parents.
Yeah, that would be
I want to know, like, why she is the way she is. I don't
know if I want to get into her brain at all.
Well, you have a psychology major. There's got to be a part of you that is just like fascinated by the psychosis that is Candace.
I mean,
like to the point where, like, listen, you like watching those shows where people eat couches, you know?
I do, because that's a lot easier to understand.
You know, or they eat like laundry detergent. She is, to me, the equivalent of that. Like, I am, at this point, I'm just fascinated by the batshittery that is this chick. She's
just a freak show to be fascinated by, right? At this point. That's what she's become.
And people are following her like a David Koresh. It's nuts.
And it doesn't ever occur to her that the simplest explanation is often true. Yeah. And so she's like, I can't believe Trump didn't investigate Charlie's murder. Well, it was investigated, and there is now going to be a trial of the person who did it.
Right. And he's also a little busy doing things. Like,
he may have noticed.
The president of the United States, he's letting the justice people handle that. She's insane, Mock.
Insane. And then yesterday, remember how we talked about the fact that Megyn and Hassan Piker and Sneeko and all these other idiots tweeted the exact same old tweet from Charlie from well before the Iran nuclear strike last summer. Yeah. So Jackie Shea called them out about that, and this is what she said. She said, "Wow, we saw Sneeko, Megyn, Hassan Piker, and others sharing Charlie's war drums post yesterday, but they didn't share his words after Trump actually struck Iran. Don't let people co-opt Charlie for a narrative that he hated, which was anti-Israel, anti-Jew, and pro-Islamic radicalism." And I'm so glad that she said that. So just if you didn't see what Megyn and others were retweeting, this is what Charlie said well before the summer strikes, if you want to read that.
It's going unnoticed because so much other news is happening, but the war drums are beating again in D.C. The warmongers worry this is their last chance to get the white whale they've been chasing for 30 years, an all-out regime change war against Iran. A new Middle East war would be a catastrophic mistake. Our military stockpiles are depleted from 3 years of backing Ukraine. Our effort to restore manufacturing has only just begun and will take years to bear fruit. War would worsen our already immense deficit in national debt. Iran is larger than Iraq, Syria, and Afghanistan combined. A war would not be easy and could easily become a calamity. Thanks to President Trump's restraint during his first term, America has a golden opportunity to pull away from Middle East quagmires for good. We shouldn't throw that opportunity away so that some DC has-beens can feel tough by sending young Americans to die yet again.
So that is what Charlie said well before the summer strike. Mm-hmm. But after the summer strike, and it's weird because Megyn isn't tweeting this. You know what I mean? Like, these people, these same people that were so excited to reshare this older post of Charlie's did not share his more recent thoughts. And after those Iranian strikes, Charlie said, Iran gave President Trump no choice. For a decade, he has been adamant that Iran will never get a nuclear weapon. They decided to forego diplomacy in pursuit of a bomb. This is a surgical strike operated perfectly. President Trump acted with prudence and decisiveness.
Yeah.
So weird that they're not tweeting that out.
Yeah, it's also weird they're not tweeting out the fact that a week before he died, he said that all these people who blame everything on Israel, he called them demonic.
Yeah, that's right.
And that too.
And the day before he died, he said Islam is the sword the left is using to slit the throat of Americans. Mm-hmm. He was very, very clear about Islam. So it's kind of gross that people are retweeting some of his old stuff out of context.
They're cherry picking it.
Yeah, they're cherry picking it. And the worst of them, I mean, not the worst, but like one of the most egregious, Thomas Massie went and found a picture from Charlie, or a tweet from Charlie from 2016.
Oh my God.
He had to go back a decade where Charlie was like, look, it's one of my favorite congressmen, Thomas Massie. Everybody liked Thomas Massie back in 2016.
Yeah.
Charlie would be looking at Thomas Massie right now in a very different way. So that is pathetic that they're using him in that way.
What a self-serving dick.
Right?
Yeah.
It's just so bad.
Like, how dare you, dude? Are you serious? There are so many people that we liked as chicks on the right back in 2016 that we would be like, ew, now.
Right.
Ew.
Exactly. It's just vile. So one thing that we didn't talk about yesterday was the fact, because we did play a lot of Ben Shapiro clips, but one of the clips that I opted not to play because I didn't think it would be it wouldn't turn into an explosive fight, is a clip of Ben responding to a comment that Piers Morgan had made when he had Jeremy Boring on his show. And when Jeremy was on Piers's show, it was weird because Piers asked Jeremy, how come Ben isn't texting me back? Like, I keep texting him to, talk and to have him come back on the show, and he just won't talk to me. And Jeremy was like, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, that's your issue with Ben. Like, I'm not in the middle of your fight. It was really weird that Piers had done that. So Ben made a whole bunch of fun of him and basically said, the reason I don't talk to you anymore is because you have turned into a Jerry Springer version of yourself,
right?
Where you just only have like explosive, psychotic panels with terrible people. And I don't want any part of what you're doing with that. I don't want any part of that.
Right.
You do you. Okay. You go do that. I'm just not going to participate. And so what constantly happens with Ben Shapiro is that he'll say something like that, and people like Megyn or Piers or whoever will instantly be like, Ben is engaging in cancel culture. No, he isn't. He's just choosing not to engage with you personally, you psycho.
And he's not, and they can't understand that he doesn't want to do everything for clicks.
Right.
We got that when, Candace basically picked a fight with us.
Yeah.
He's like, I want to fight you chicks. And people could not understand why we didn't want to have Candace's audience.
Yeah.
People could not wrap their brains around it. They're like, you're scared. No, we don't care. We've been doing this for 17 years. I assure you, I don't care about her audience enough and getting clicks enough to engage with a Holocaust denier. She's batshit. I do not want
utterly.
I don't want to engage. I don't want to associate with people who believe that the Holocaust didn't happen. I'm not going to do that. We actually have some ethics. We're not
some standards.
Like, clicks are not that important to us, as evidenced by the fact we've been doing this for 17 years. We don't care about that. But people cannot wrap their brains around that.
They cannot. And so because Ben talked about this whole hullabaloo on his show, Piers was very angry. He released, I think, like a 12-minute, basically a letter to Ben, and just went off about all the things, calling Ben, saying that Ben is engaging in cancel culture, which is absolutely not true, taking issue with the fact that he referred to him as a Jerry Springer style. And then he was like, Jerry was one of my best friends and he had more clicks than anybody. He was so super successful because, of course, that is the metric that Piers cares about. And so here's just a tiny, tiny bit of what Piers said at the very end of his long diatribe to Ben. He was very, very upset. And here was the very end of it.
I'm a journalist. You are a propagandist. Oh, and facts don't care about your feelings.
See what he did there? See what he did? Here's what Ant said about it, if you want to read this.
Piers Morgan and his pathetic little statement targeted at Ben Shapiro is justifying platforming literal pond life, whom he consciously invited onto his show, not because they had some profoundly different view on the subject of Israel that was worthy of attention, but because he knew full well their statements would be highly controversial and would, of course, attract loads of views to his show. Exactly. It's that simple. Nothing more, nothing less. And the roller coaster of mental gymnastics he tries to apply to suggest it's somehow him offering balance in different opinions is laughable. It's what all these people do. They want clicks. We're in the business, you guys. We know how this works. They get clicks. And that's precisely why, listen, we could have gone toe to toe with Candace and we would have gotten a lot of eyeballs and it would have catapulted. We could have used her gigantic audience. Of course we could have done that. We would not have done that. There's no way. She is horrible.
It's not what we're after.
It isn't worth it. She's a beast. And Piers Morgan is a jerk for suggesting that Ben Shapiro is somehow beneath him. It's gross.
And that he is the propagandist.
Right.
Really?
I mean, my God. And listen, he's not engaging in cancel culture. He's not at all. You get to pick and choose who you want to talk to and engage with and I guess introduce into your life. Like if you want to have those people, and he gets to do that. He gets to choose that now. He's been in the business long enough where he's like, if I don't want to do that, if I don't want to talk to that person, if I don't want to engage with this person, I don't want to do. And I feel the same way about us. We're not as important as a Ben Shapiro, but we've been doing this long enough where it's like, if I don't want to talk to that person who is a Holocaust denier,
right,
then I'm not going to do it. I'm just not.
We actually had folks on our team initially before they actually knew who we were, like deeply. Now they do. But before, when they were just kind of new to the team and they were like, here's what gets clicks. You need to go fight with so-and-so. You need to go have a fight or a debate with so-and-so. And we were like, that's not what we do.
We're not doing
And we're
that.
not going to do that. That's just not who we are. And
I think some were disappointed that we didn't want to fight with Candace. And we were like, guys, sorry, but that's just not who we are. And now I think they're on board and they understand that, you know, this is just, you're on a team that we are kind of the central part of that team. And we're not going to do that with people. We're just not.
And that is, you know, we understand that is at our own expense. Like we're not going to grow into like giant, you know, sensations because of that.
Right.
Because that's what it takes now. You have to be super controversial. You have to pick a fight. You have to, you know, be in fights with and we just don't want to do that.
You have to be, you have to be combative and you have to do what Piers Morgan is doing.
Right.
What the Candaces are doing. No.
I just no. And so Piers even went further than his 10 to 12 minute diatribe. And he posted a photo of himself with Ben Shapiro and photoshopped it so that Ben was tiny, like itty bitty compared to Piers. And he was like, if you come after the king, you better be ready.
Oh my gosh.
It was so stupid. Yeah. So you have to see the picture and then read what AP wrote in response. Cause it is so pathetic, you guys. Here is the picture.
Oh my God.
If you come for the British king, Ben Shapiro, you best not miss.
Oh my God, that is so awful and
read what AP wrote.
Ben Shapiro never ceases to amaze me with his ability to absolutely break people's brains. He will say one thing about someone and that person will spiral out of control for the next couple of months while Ben has long moved on, completely shitless. Ben is absolutely king. And it's true. Like, these people are so self-important. Can you imagine posting something like that?
Oh my God, there is no way we would ever do something like that.
I just cannot imagine being that self-important. My God.
This is narcissism big time.
Who are these people? My God.
So who would you imagine would immediately pounce into the midst of this fight to defend Piers Morgan?
It's got to be Megyn or Candace.
It's Megyn. It's Megyn. So Megyn immediately she jumped into the foray, as Candace would say. And she said, this is in which Piers Morgan responds to Ben Shapiro's attack on him, noting that Ben has turned into the same cancel culture vulture, spitting sneering intolerance that Kamala Harris is, and all over Ben's favorite and most important issue, how supportive one is of Israel.
God, Megyn, how far you've fallen. I mean, this is just
so
ridiculous.
sad.
He is not canceling anybody.
I know.
And she is going to get to the point where she literally has 3 people to talk to.
I know. I'm waiting for Dave Smith to be on her show.
Oh,
it's going to be Nick Fuentes to be on her show.
It's going to be Dave, Nick, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Tucker, Candace, and Piers. All in like a big rotation.
Yeah. And one of the people that obviously she has disowned and burned bridges with is Dave Rubin. And so Dave Rubin noticed that this fight was happening and he commented on the fact that Megyn was weighing in. And he was not kind, granted, but he said, pretty sure Megyn got some of the Botox in her brain and Piers would sell his mother to a jihadist for a click.
I don't disagree with that. I
don't either. And in fact, Piers then got furious at Dave Rubin too and immediately blocked him. And Dave noticed that he had been blocked. And Piers said, but before he blocked him, wow, 4 months ago, I drove out to do Rubin's podcast at his home in Miami as a personal favor because he's done my show many times. I thought we were friends. How wrong could I be? What a treacherous little weasel. Being Netanyahu's useful idiot has sent him and Shapiro nuts. And so Dave said, oh dear, Piers just posted this and blocked me. He can dish it, but he can't take it. I would have thought more highly of an esteemed British tabloid journalist. And then Dave posted an excerpt from that appearance that Piers had on his show. And Dave told him face to face why he does not go on Piers's show anymore. And Piers seemed to take it really, really well. Here is that exchange.
I will be completely, totally honest with you. About 8 months ago, I basically said to myself, I don't want to do Piers's show anymore because the way the debates go, all of the people, the screaming, the lunatics, the jank and these awful people where you have a certain set of people largely on the right who come on that are thoughtful and can explain their ideas and wajat and all these nutbags. And I really swore it off. And then I did do it again. I did it the day after Charlie died and I had to demolish jank the way I did with receipts. But I view it now as it's adding flame. It's just adding fuel to the fire that nothing good is coming out of it. In a weird way, I don't mean that as a knock to you. I mean it maybe as a knock to what the internet has become. What do you make of it?
Well, I think
so. For example, if you ask me right now, Dave, you want to come on my show for a one-on-one interview the other way, or even for maybe a one-person debate, which I did it with you in person in London, which with that socialist, and I enjoyed that. But the other thing I think has now become something that is not helping. That's just my opinion.
No, I think it's perfectly fair criticism, and I've seen criticism of my show where people say you're the Jerry Springer of political debate because you just want people fighting all the time. It's not true, actually. I don't like it when it becomes too much of a circus. I don't like it when people shout over each other because the viewer can't really understand what's happening. I do like fiery, passionate debate.
I don't like it, but I like the clicks I'm getting.
Yeah. So Piers responded to Dave Rubin posting that clip saying, "You won't ever be doing my show again in any capacity.
You Jew lover." I swear.
So, I mean, the fights are getting so juicy, like all over the place.
Right. It's everywhere. And it's like, because people have picked sides.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They pick sides. So
one of the awful people that we haven't talked about in a while now is Carrie Prejean Bowler. And she is now, she's totally lying about the reason she became Catholic. We all know she became Catholic basically because Candy told her to. Candace recommended it. Candace became Catholic. And so because Carrie wants to be Candace, she also became Catholic. But here is how she spins it. And there's a guy introducing this video basically saying she's a big fat liar. And here's how I know that.
Watch Carrie Prejean lie straight to your face.
So I was raised Protestant my entire life until I was just last year got, confirmed into the Catholic Church. And part of my conversion, part of my study was recognizing, wait a second, every church that I've been to my whole life, they wave the Israeli flag and they tell me that my allegiance has to be to this foreign country because Israel today, 1948 state of Israel, is the same Israel as the Bible, It's the same Israel and we must bless it if you want to be blessed and you must worship it if you want to be, blessed. I mean, it's crazy. And so
every single church she has been to has told her that, and that's the reason she converted to Catholicism.
Oh my God. Come on.
Stop.
That is the biggest crock of crap. I have been literally every denomination, including Catholicism. I've been them all. That does not happen. She is a filthy liar.
100%. Jackie Shea also pointing out, I've been an evangelical for 20 years now. I've been to countless churches. I've seen the Israeli flag in one and only during special events. You will not find a single one telling you to worship Israel.
I've never seen it.
She is lying.
I've never seen it. Ever.
She's a liar. I mean, she's just so deceitful and dishonest, and it's so clear, and she has such ulterior motives for everything that she does, including now she's made it very, very clear that she wants to run a faith office in a presidential administration, which she has now told to 3 different people. Morgan Ariel, who suggested Tucker Carlson should run for president. Carrie, yes, I'll run the faith office.
Oh my God.
And then she says, I fully endorse Fishback, of course, as Florida governor. And when Thomas Massie or Marjorie Taylor Greene decide to run for president, they'll have my vote. I'll run the faith office. She said it again to Thomas Massie, who told her, stay strong. Thank you, I will. When you're president, I'll run the faith office.
Oh my gosh, she is joink,
obsessed.
Joink. I will not be ignored, Dan. She is also psychotic.
Right? I mean, it's just This woman, man.
Make her stop. Again, whoever her husband is, come and get your girl. Good Lord.
Okay, now for the pettiness.
We got to, there's more?
It's going to be bad.
Oh, here we go.
I'm sorry, but I cannot help it.
What's happening?
I need for everybody to, you've probably seen this photo before, but I need you to look at it before we play one last clip from Megyn Kelly. And here is what, so here's the photo. It's of Carrie and Megyn. This is a good transition, I promise. So,
God.
Anything that you notice? Ozempic. I was going to say, is there anything you notice?
I mean, that's what I noticed.
In particular?
The thinness and the fact that they look like twins. They look like they could be sisters here.
They just look so skeletal.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So everybody's doing Ozempic now. Everybody recreationally. And I'm calling it out for what it is. It needs to stop. Like I don't like I don't like the Demi Moore crap. I see the Oprah crap. I see everybody's doing recreational Ozempic, people that don't need it. It's like, I don't get it. I don't understand why everybody's doing this, Mock.
I don't know either. Now, we don't know, obviously. We don't have
We
evidence
don't know.
that Megyn is ever doing Ozempic. She certainly doesn't need to. And what's interesting about this, because she does look very much like that standard Ozempic-y kind of face and the skeletal, bony, hunched, just ill. She just looks ill. She looks unwell.
I think that's the look, and that look is coming back. And I have a problem with that look coming back because we went through this in the 90s where like the Kate Moss look was like, it was everybody smoked. Everybody was smoking and like not eating. And I thought we got past that. And then we went on the pendulum swing where it's like, everybody needs to look like Lizzo. No, that's not healthy either. You know what I mean? It's like
body positivity.
Can we just find a happy medium where like women are allowed to eat and look normal? You know what I mean?
Please.
Like I like to raise my girls. In fact, what I really like, because I have girls, and what I tell my daughter's an athlete, and I'm like, eat things and lift heavy crap, because that's one thing. We're girls of the 80s. We're Gen Xers. And one thing that we didn't have was people telling us to lift heavy. And that's why I have osteoporosis. I'm telling you right now, like if you're young and you're watching this, the best thing you could do would be to eat and lift heavy crap. Because when you're in your 50s, you're going to thank you for it. Because like these women, like if you get so skinny, I'm telling you, you're going to have bad bones. You're going to have all sorts of issues when you're older. Like eat.
Yeah, I don't, again, I mean, the Ozempic thing, maybe Megyn just is really, really trying to be skinny and she's doing it naturally, whatever, that's fine. But the point is, she looks like a lot of the Ozempic users look, right? I mean, she looks frail and just like she could just be, you could flick her and she would fall over. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like, and then their faces, like their teeth look
big, like super big because of it. Yeah.
It's it's a look. It's a look, and it's weird because we're seeing it everywhere now. Like on the red carpets, everybody's so thin. Like they all need to, it's just weird, you guys.
Yeah, which is why I was stunned at this lack of self-awareness on Megyn's part. Here she is talking to Mark Halperin.
And that is, speaking of Ozempic, Oprah Winfrey. I know you go on all these podcasts. Everybody wants your political opinion because you're very genius when it comes to all things politics. But you and I need to talk about Oprah for a second here. And then we'll take a break. Oprah Winfrey and Gayle King arrived at Paris Fashion Week, Chloe's Paris Fashion Week show, and got filmed by, I don't know, who is it? TikTok? It's on TikTok. I'm not sure whose tape this is. Well, Paris Match. Look at this.
Look at the slump. Same slump that Megyn had in that picture.
Is skinnier than I am now. She looks like next to skin and bones. And by the way, this comes on the heels of, did you see Demi Moore at that whatever event that was last week where she was in the full leather with a little dog? She looks like she weighs 90 pounds. She looks like she could get blown away if a good spring breeze came through. Not to mention what's happening with Kelly Osbourne, who is not even recognizable. And I don't want to say more because I love Sharon Osbourne and they've been dealing with a lot with the loss of Ozzy. But you tell me your take, Mark, because I know you do keep your finger on the pulse of all things cultural. Why so many people in the public eye cannot seem to manage their Ozempic to a point where they stay looking like a normal human as opposed to someone we need to have an intervention for.
Oh,
I still feel like, okay, you're going to take it for your appetite control. Great. Why do you have to become anorexic?
Yeah.
Like why they become like they look almost non-human. Like there's no fat in their face. Although there's rumors that like Kelly Osbourne may have gotten that buccal fat, whatever, removal from her face, but they're going full skeletal.
Yeah.
How do you not?
I know.
How does she not?
Well, I
know?
can tell you, I don't think that Oprah is skinnier than her. I don't.
I mean, they could be close, but
They're
yeah,
close,
you're probably
but
right.
I don't think she's skinny. I mean, she looks thin, but we're so used to seeing Oprah as like a normal human. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I think maybe in her brain she thinks she's skinnier than her, but she's not. I don't think.
I mean,
same size.
It wasn't that long ago that Megyn had cheeks, like actual, and I'm not saying that in a negative way at all. She looked beautiful.
Right.
And she just had a little bit of fullness to her face where it wasn't sunken in all the way like it is now. And she is criticizing women for looking skeletal. And I just find that amazing.
It is. Yeah. Listen, I know that those drugs are great for people that need, especially for diabetics. Obviously, that's what they were made for. They were made for diabetics. There's a purpose for them. I get it. But there's like, we're seeing so many, especially like celebrities and people in media that are you can tell they're taking them recreationally. That is weird. And it sends a really bad message to girls out there. And we've lived through this. I mean, I know so many girls when I was growing up that had anorexia, bulimia. I've seen it. I don't like it. I don't want my girls to be raised like that. Eat well and work out and be athletic, be healthy. But my God, like this look, I'm not liking it.
Same. All right. One more clip before we get to the fun stuff. And that is of Dana Loesch, who had a long segment yesterday. What's his name? James Lindsay. She had James Lindsay on her show, and they were talking about this whole phenomenon of all of these, the Megyn, the Candace, the Tuckers, all of these people being so, ostensibly on the right, but not. Right. Like they're really redefining what it means to be a Republican, a conservative, and it is scary. And Dana talked about how much of an impact that can have like across your entire life. And I thought it was just interesting, her lead up to talking to James Lindsay. Here she is.
Welcome back to the program. Dana Loesch with you. We are at the bottom of the second hour. You can listen on hundreds of stations across the country. You can watch the simulcast as well. And of course, all our digital stuff, podcasts, etc. This is a weird topic to discuss. And I honestly have to tell you, like 15 years ago, if you asked me if we would be having this discussion about the soul of the right, I would think that you were crazy because it seems fantastical. And what I'm trying to do and trying to help with folks is to understand what's coming. This is a very online fight right now, but it's bubbling over into meat space.
Yeah.
And this is going to affect everything from even your worship. It's going to affect the ideological command of the right. It's going to affect the people who are on the ballot. It is going to affect the platform of the Republican Party. And it may eventually decide where you are politically in the future. And the craziest thing is that this fight didn't originate in the United States. It originated in a foreign country, and it is being piped into the United States. It is a massive psyop. And I say this as someone who is not a conspiracy theorist, who is almost Vulcan in terms of logic, and who is not a sensationalist.
This is what we have been trying to say. And people are like, why do you even talk about this? That is why.
That's why. Yeah, that's why. Victoria's like, I hope she never changes like Megyn did. She won't change. She's the real deal. She's like, she's a Breitbart girl. She worked with Breitbart. You guys remember Andrew Breitbart? War. Remember? Yeah. Like, I mean, back in the day, she was Tea Party. Like, she's the real deal. Dana's the real deal. She's not going to change.
No, she has her head on straight for sure.
Mhm.
All right, let's get to some fun things. This is less of a like a cute, funny video than it is just one of interest about like your own body and what its limitations are. And this is something that I did not know was a thing, but then I tried it, which I know you will too. As soon as this video plays, you're all going to be doing it to test it out, and it's true. Watch this.
You can only swallow 2 to 3 times before your body forces you to stop.
Okay.
Oh my God.
1, 2.
Oh my God, it's true.
Why?
Oh my
I
gosh.
don't know. I don't know why it's true, but it's true.
I did
like
it
if you're
3
not
times.
eating or drinking, like you hit a maximum that you can do it consecutively.
And your body's
and
like, nah,
you got to stop.
we're done. We did 3 times. We're done. Oh
Isn't
my
that
gosh.
bizarre? I know. I just had to share it because I
Okay,
was
that's
like,
weird. You can't be
That
the only
is
one trying that at
crazy.
home by yourself. We all have to do it now. Thanks, Mom.
You know corporate speak and how utterly ridiculous it gets.
So dumb.
Oh, did I freeze?
You did. You froze. You froze for a
Oh.
second. We're talking about
Okay.
corporate speak and how dumb it is, like paradigm shift. Remember?
Okay, so you did hear that. Okay,
I heard
I
something
wasn't
about
sure when I
corporate
froze.
speak. Right. Mm-hmm.
All right. It's super dumb. And some of the, like, just the way that bosses will talk, it's just all so ridiculous
It
and
is.
meaningless. So
Mhm.
there's this guy that has now made an account to highlight how ridiculous it can be. And he plays 4 different versions of himself on a Zoom call, having corporate speak chats. And it is just ridiculous, you guys. But this is so legit how it used to sound in corporate America.
We were effectively unable to push February to March. The question now becomes, okay, how do we reconcile the execution shortfall from last month to shore up our broader Q1 performance target?
Okay.
Right. So now
Yeah, let's dig into that.
Yeah, go ahead.
When we look at Q1 from a quarterly perspective, right, it's clear that if we fail to close the attainment gap created by February, we risk underdelivering in the first quadrant as a whole. Right. So now, awesome framing there. Yeah, Just to take it a step further, right? If our February output delta isn't absorbed within the March window, our quarterly benchmark will collapse, right? So now it's just
really
like, how
quick,
to
not to take us down
Yeah,
a rabbit
go ahead.
hole here, but I do want to highlight that our deficit from February remains embedded within the Q1 production threshold. Right, so
I do
exactly like that.
I don't miss it. I don't
my
miss
God.
that at all.
I don't either.
At all.
It was horrible. Absolutely horrible.
Oh my God.
Oh, okay. So here is a funny little clip about the fact that, you know, people think that there's an increase lately of violence, general violence across the world.
Mhm.
But as this fellow points out, it has been with us since the dawn of time. He just happens to point it out in a funny way.
People think the world's gone to hell, that it's gotten so violent. But the world never got violent. There is no got. The world has been violent since the beginning. Cain killed Abel, man. Cain killed Abel. The 3rd person on the planet killed the 4th person on the planet. We weren't even able to make it to 3 people before somebody was a murderer. At one time, 1/3 of the people on the planet were murderers, right? 1/3 of the people in the hood aren't murderers. 1/3 of the people who own guns aren't murderers. 1/3 of the people in jail aren't even murderers, right? San Quentin, Alcatraz, Folsom Prison are safer than the book of Genesis. You thought Compton and Baghdad were tough? Try downtown Eden when the sun goes down. There was murder and violence at person 3. One couple had 2 boys who had the world to themselves, and one of them was claiming this town ain't big enough for the 2 of us, right? Cain killed 25% of the world's population. That's more than Stalin, Hitler, Idi Amin, Pol Pot, King Herod, Genghis Khan, Manifest Destiny, typhoid, cancer, AIDS, cooties, all combined. Cain killed 1/3 of the people he knew. He knew 3 people. He killed one of them. If you knew Cain, you had a 66 2/3% chance of survival. There's no such thing as the good old days. There was like one good day. It was half a day. Adam and Eve were naked, alone in an oasis. Lunchtime came. People got hungry. Apples were eaten. Boom, Detroit.
Detroit. It's true. That's
I
so
love
great.
that so much. All right.
So great.
You know, I like a prank. I love
yeah,
a
you
prank
do.
as long as it's not happening to me. And this is a wife who, for reasons I cannot begin to fathom, wants her husband to be scared of the word lemon. So
what?
I know. I thought it was so weird too, but here
So weird.
she is making this a reality. So she wants her husband to be afraid of the word lemon. And here is how she is fulfilling that desire.
Day 10 of teaching my fiance to be scared to wear lemon.
Babe! Lemon! Oh my God! God!
Why? I don't know why, but I laughed so hard at that.
And she threw a grill at him. What the
I
hell?
mean, that's gonna work. You know what I mean? If that was
so-
day 10, that was day 10. I haven't even seen the other days.
Days 1 through 9. What in the world? Oh my God.
But anytime he hears the word lemon, he is
And
running.
they're not even married yet. Can you imagine what marriage is going to be like? Good
I don't
Lord.
know why
Somebody
that made
said-
me laugh so hard.
Her side Labrador said she grilled him. That was so hard.
Oh my God. All right. Last one. Of course, we have to have animals. And
Yes.
we have a dog trying to play fetch with its owner. Both sides of this skit are played by a human, just so you know. Here it is.
I will do literally anything to get you to throw this ball. Okay, then give me the ball. Fuck no. You come get it from me.
So true.
Why do dogs do that,
don't
though?
know,
They
but
want
all
you
of-
so bad to throw it, but they
all
will
of
not let you have it.
It's like, just give me the ball. Give me the ball. You're trying to get out of there. Give me the ball.
Oh, dogs. Anyway, all right. We do have a couple of nice reviews to share from the Apple Podcast platform. If you haven't left us a review, please do it because we love, love, love reading these. Read this first one. It's a big one, so the name dropped off.
Love it. I listen to the show every day and love the sense of humor they bring to the dreary world around us. I don't agree with everything they say, and that's okay, but I try not to let a day go without listening to their show. Also, I love trying their new sponsors products. The one I'm going to continue with is a beef tallow balm and deodorant. I switched to beef tallow deodorant a year ago and will never go back. I love that. Thank you
Right?
for the
It's
great
good
review.
stuff.
Yeah, it's great stuff.
And the very best way to support us is getting yourself something from one of our sponsors.
We have
The
great
very best way.
sponsors. Yep. Love these ladies. I started listening about 6 months ago, and now it is a must to listen to these two smart and funny ladies every day. They have a variety of topics, and the fun stuff at the end of the show always makes me laugh. Thank you, chicks on the right. Meshalet. Thank you.
Isn't that lovely? It's just
Very
6 months.
sweet.
That means they're new to the coop.
Love it. Love
it. Love it. Love it. All right. I know we've got a couple of Venmos. Let me get to those. I don't want to miss anybody. All right. Thomas Adams said, Daisy, have you thought about building a goat tower? Yes, they are a thing.
A goat tower.
A goat tower.
I don't know anything about that. I'll have to look into that.
Yeah, I don't know what that is either.
Okay. All right. I'll look into it.
Jennifer Hunt said, regarding the Iranian women, even if they decide to return and likely are killed, who is to believe that they won't still harm their families? People need to watch the movie Not Without My Daughter, based on the true story of Betty Mahmoudi. Such a great movie. We watched it on a hotel bed on my laptop once when we were traveling. It's such a good show.
It is. And I actually have posted a few clips of that on Instagram, just to be like, this is what, people like women in the United States are like wanting to have here. And you would not believe some of the comments are like, this isn't real. I'll get that.
It is totally real.
Like, you're out of your freaking mind. It absolutely is based on a real story. Do your research.
We actually talked to an Iranian woman who actually went through that exact same process of getting the F out of that country.
These liberal women are so uneducated. They have no idea what these women go through. They just don't want to believe it. They don't want to. And that is terrifying.
Mm-hmm. Over on Locals, Roth Lady Wright said, can you imagine all of this for not singing a song? These people might lose their lives and their families' lives for not singing a song. God bless America. We all get on our knees and thank Jesus daily. Love you, Nillas. Thank you. C2 Taylors said, when Newsom speaks, he reminds me of a young Joe Biden. I guess I can see that. Roth Lady Wright said, the biggest problem with all these Republicans and politicians in 26 is that so many of them bring emotional baggage to the table. Politics, like business, is no place for emotions. The good of the business, or in this case, the U.S., should be the only goal. All of these people and their crybaby emotions are like a bunch of 12-year-old girls on their first period. Enough already. Have a blessed day. Now you.
I love it. Marcy Peralez. Good morning, Mock and Daisy. Happy Tuesday. Hope you have an awesome day. Much love. Thank you, Marcy. Please don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to this podcast if you haven't already. It really helps our chicks. Much love. Thank you, Marcy.
Thank you.
And happy birthday to our own Shelly Bolton.
Happy birthday,
Shelly. And Shelly left a super sticker. She said, thank you all ever so much for the birthday wishes. I know everyone always says it, but this really is truly the best community. Y'all are the best. We do have the best community, don't we?
Hands
Absolute
down.
best. G White 053. Happy birthday to Shelly Bolton. Supernova. I was shopping last night for a birthday gift for a friend's son. A mom and her 3-year-old son were in the toy section. He yelled, Mama, it's Pie-a-Man, Mama, Spider-Man. I heard him later yelling, Pie Butts, Mama, Pirates.
Aww.
Kids are so cute. Merrick's mom, 032607. It's my birthday, bitches. And I wouldn't have started any other way. I got baby goats. Whoop, whoop. Thank you for starting my day right, Morgan. I know that's you, Morgan. Love y'all. I saw the goat. She got goats for her birthday.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. She's living the farm life. Robin Dye.
Commissioner.
Commissioner Tisch is Tisch School of the Arts family.
That police commissioner.
Okay. Judy Flackney, 8285. I saw a presser with the spokesman for Iran talking about their peaceful nuclear program. Excuse me, what is wrong with that picture? I feel like that's kind of a oxymoron, right? Peaceful nuclear. Okay.
I mean, they can pretend that it's for energy, but
No.
we've already given them a huge deal to do that, and they
No.
declined. So no.
I don't trust them. James Andrew 2606. Aussie. Oi. Uh-huh. Arnerm. Premature Dajak Wednesday Lation. Don't buy roses from a monk. Only you can stop florist friars. I can't say that 3 times. Take my Nilla money. That's good. Supernova. Gavin's Auntie Nancy talks with her hands too. That's right.
That's true. She does.
Mhm, she does. Mostly peaceful. The only acceptable response to Gavin's gobbledygook hand dance is da fuke. Kelly loves the music. Thank you for that super sticker. And thank you for the other one. You gave us 2. I appreciate that. Design Pro Jeff. Greasy Gab forgot to include, was it over when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor? The Animal House. I love that. Fish 3778. Thank you for that super sticker. Lady Shenandoah. The Cinderella store is in deep blue, Montgomery County, Maryland. They will win a lawsuit just because of where they're located. Okay.
The store, I hope.
I'm hoping the store. I hope they will win it. Fish 3778. Them Cali peeps are trying to turn Tennessee blue. Go home. They're trying to turn every state blue. This is what they're trying to do. Jose, Texas 15. Morning from Texas chicks. Yay, I finally got one of my comments read without paying for it. And here I am. What the hell? Just take my money. Jose.
It's such a crapshoot. Like if we do see comments that aren't lit up in a color.
That's true. Brian Brumley. I hear all this candy crazy conspiracy stuff and wonder, where is Nicolas Cage when you need him? Supernova. Yeast Muffin needs to cease the BS now.
Right.
Yeast Muffin. We need to just call her Yeast Muffin. Mel's Faves 1. Candace. I will not be ignored, Dan. That's right. Miss Perk 77. A Masonic Bible is the King James version. It is given at your raising as a Mason. Everyone that attended your raising signed your Bible. It's special. Okay.
Right. But it's not different. I mean, the signatures at the back,
right?
That's different. But Candace is acting like she's uncovered some mystic relic that like is telling her things that nobody else knows.
Like she's Raiders of the Lost Ark and she's opening the
ark.
Like, close your eyes. Yeah, she's stop it. Just stop. Mr. Holiday 2 USIR. If Candace is such a Catholic, why doesn't she take her husband's name?
I think formally, like legally, she did, but it's kind of like Gwen Stefani not changing her name publicly.
Well, he's gay, so Miss Perk 77. Good men and the Masons and good men are made better by Freemasonry. It's too bad Candace Owens doesn't have a Mason in her life. That's right. She just has the Andrew Tates in the world in her life. BTK 1213. Without Charlie, does Turning Point USA need a new face?
Does it need a new face? I mean,
I think
TPUSA's problem right now is that they continue to give platforms to horrible people. And I know Charlie was friends with Tucker. I don't know that Charlie would like the Tucker of today.
No.
I don't know. I just don't.
I would say no. I would say he probably wouldn't, but they do. They give platforms. I don't think that they need a face that much. I think that they probably could go back to doing the debates on college campuses. But
even to that, they invited that Kai Schwemmer, the college Republican political director, who is also a Groyper. Right. And Charlie would never want that. He hated Nick Fuentes and didn't want to have Nick anywhere near a TPUSA event.
Right. They need to they need to vet these people. They need to start paying attention to that and not.
Or if they are vetting them and they are still like, this is fine, then I don't know what's happening to TPUSA.
Right, because they definitely can't let the Groypers take over because that's not okay. It's just not. You guys are bringing it in. It's a Tuesday.
Oh, and I even have my Charlie shirt on today. Can you see?
Oh, I love that. We wore blue, of course. We didn't plan what happened, you guys. Everybody have a wonderful Tuesday. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye, everybody.
Hello, beautiful people. This is the Chicks on the Right's Indian correspondent. Thank you for watching or listening. Be very sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell to stay up to date on all of their delicious content. Okay, thank you. Come again.
Okay, thank